Germany had a huge announcement regarding their incentives, and it's called, I believe it's the innovation bonus is what it's called. So back in July of 2020, so essentially a year ago, Germany had announced a subsidy where they were going to offer a government subsidy, which we've seen many countries do, to encourage hybrids, EVs, just environmentally friendly vehicles. And they announced today that they're extending it for 4 more years. So Tesla, to understand the situation in Tesla, you got to remember, one is last year, Europe, which Germany's in Europe, Europe passed, you would be surprised how many people don't realize that. Europe was actually surpassed China last year as far as EVs were concerned, right?
Yeah.
And so this year China's leading, but I really think that, and it's projected that Europe is going to be the number 2 position and China will settle in at number 3. As far as Tesla's concerned, that's what we should see play out. The other thing that actually works in Tesla's favor, if you're bullish on Tesla in Germany, as Europe goes as Germany goes, and Germany is known as sort of the leaders in automotive, especially with their craftsmanship. You have Volkswagen, which is going to lead the way, but Europe's always going to go as Germany goes. You have the Berlin factory happening at the end of the year, the Gigafactory that's happening for Tesla, which is anticipated to have a capacity of 500,000 vehicles, which is insane. But on top of that, Tesla numbers dipped last year. So 2 years ago, they had a monster market share of 31% in Germany, dipped down to 13%. And now they're looking to get back, and they're projected to have about 20%. That's a good thing. We actually need that from Tesla because you don't want them to always dominate. If they have like room to move up, I think this is a good opportunity. So they only need to increase their market share from 13%. If they get to 20 or even 30, which I think is possible, that means huge things for Tesla. So this is great for short term, for long term, and for investing as far as it's concerned with Tesla.
Yeah, I was trying to look it up, but do you know if Germany has made a motion to ban all ICE vehicles yet?
I believe so. I think Europe has. I think the EU has, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if the EU has or not. I know that Britain has by 2034. I know that firmly, but I don't know about Germany. So it's just interesting as far as like everybody else following suit with Germany, because you look at Mercedes, Porsche, and Volkswagen, all of those in Germany that are still very, I guess, driver enthusiasts, especially from like a Porsche standpoint or performance. And so I would be curious to see, if there is in fact a ban on, or there will be a ban on ICE vehicles in Germany, and how everybody will follow suit. But it's interesting. I feel as if at some point we will live in a world where, their ICE vehicles will be banned, and it'll be kind of like, it's weird, man. I don't know how to feel about it, because I love to drive, and like hearing the engine noise and like just having that raw power and stuff, and being like, I've never driven an automatic vehicle. So like, I still like to drive my manual cars and stuff. So like, it's a weird dynamic for me. Like, I'm fighting myself inside about this thing, but I agree. I mean, it's going to continue to roll. It's going to continue to move in that direction. It'll just be, I think, just a matter of time. And with the amount of cars that Tesla sold last quarter during a chip shortage of all things, I think that speaks for itself. I mean, if there was no chip shortage issue, there was no resource problems as far as demand and supply is concerned, who knows where Tesla would be standing at this point? Yeah.
So it looks like your European Union by 2026 they're looking to ban, but I don't think that's official. But it's likely the ban is likely it's the date. 2026 seems really soon. But, But that's what it's looking like for the EU.
That's crazy.
Nate says in the UK, I see more and more EVs by the day. Yeah, I mean you do, and they're like, I mean, I know there's always going to be like the classical person, and there's going to be those car enthusiasts that want that experience. But the reality is you feel like you're in a freaking rocket ship.
I know.
And that's a whole nother experience in its own right.
You can't compare anything to it.
I was like, this is a rocket ship.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're only going to get better. The technology is going to get better. And to think about how fast a car can go.
Yeah.
What did you say the Plaid was? 1.9 seconds, 0 to 60?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But it should be exciting for Tesla. And again, we talked about it needs catalyst. Germany, if they take Germany, they take the EU.
Yes.
And the Gigafactory in Berlin is genius. They're now shipping cars. Tesla is from China, from Shanghai, to Germany, or to the EU, which has actually is what they attribute the market share increase to.
Yeah.
So now, if it actually is built in Germany, cheaper costs, honestly built out of Germany, it's going to be. Hopefully you think that they're going to have incredible engineers. So all that bodes really well for their company and them to continue to dominate. The Model Ys are going to be out of Shanghai. So eventually you should see Model 3s, I would imagine, but they're going to start with Model Ys, which is to Elon's goal of making it the number one selling car.
Yeah. HB in the chat says, can't see any further potential for Tesla in Germany. Plenty of competition in this price range. I agree that there's a certain level of that. What you can't compare is the performance and the technology that's coming out of the Tesla vehicles that Mercedes, which I'm shocked by, that Mercedes and even BMW has yet to have really caught up to or even remotely gotten close. And so that's kind of like where I'm at with it. Like from a performance standpoint, you're going to have the I guess diehard people that aren't going to want to deviate from what they've been buying for virtually their whole lives, right? The Porsches, the Mercedes, and BMW, those are, I guess you probably would classify as like the top three elite, and then you have Volkswagen in there. And so I agree to a certain extent, but there's definitely something to be said for brand loyalty, and we've talked about that with Ford and GM in the States. But I don't think that to think that Tesla isn't going to take up a decent or a fair amount of market share in Germany, I think is probably I guess short-sighted a little bit.
Wait. The comment is, hold on, I got to read this correctly before I tell this person he's smoking crack. HB can't. So you, Brad, agree with the statement? I can't see any further potential for Tesla in Germany.
No, I said I should rephrase. I see where he's coming from as far as that's concerned because of the brand loyalty that is with those big three.
Yeah, you're smoking crack.
Okay.
And I'm saying HB smoking crack.
Uh-oh.
There's room for everybody. That's the point.
Yeah.
Like, one, I don't think it's like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily brand loyalty. Yes, there's going to be a certain subset of like loyalists, like people in America want American-made cars.
Yes.
There's going to be some of that, but you're talking about a very minuscule number. When you think about, I think it was 109 EVs were sold. All you got to think about is market share and the growth. If you think EVs are concerned, to say there's no more potential, we are in the first inning, maybe, of the EV story. Yeah. So to say that there's no EV potential, I have no idea what you're talking about because they're trying to get rid of everything except for EVs.
ICE vehicles, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So internal combustible engines, like they're getting rid of them.
Yeah.
So if you think about what the actual capacity is, that's huge. So I think I don't straight out disagree with many statements, but I fully disagree with that. And they don't have to be the leader. That's the key. I'm not saying Tesla has to be the leader.
Yeah, they just have to make a dent.
They just have to stay at 30% or
right.
20% because that number is going to grow because the government is pushing it. How many vehicles are going to be sold over the next 4 years because there's a €9,000 credit as opposed to if it didn't happen?
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me is like, I mean, at the end of the day, that there's just going to be so many more cars that are going to be have the opportunity to be sold for Tesla. So I think that you can clearly say, okay, Tesla's probably not going to be number one, but they don't have to be. The potential's huge, and I do believe they're going to hit their 500,000 capacity.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I haven't looked into Mercedes a whole lot. Do you know if they have like an actual competitive EV?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, like I know BMW.
If they don't, they will.
I know what BMW does, and obviously Porsche with the Taycan and stuff like that. But I don't. I mean, and Volkswagen, we've seen a lot of stuff from them, but I haven't seen much from Mercedes.
Well, the other thing to consider, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this strategy because the verdict's still out as far as I'm concerned, is when you think about BMW, which did a great job in my opinion, of distancing itself from Mercedes.
Yeah.
And their experience is awesome.
Yeah.
But they're luxury.
Yeah.
And Tesla has a luxury vehicle, but he's actually moving towards like economical and mass production. So he's actually trying to compete with the more affordable cars in the world.
Corollas and
Whether you agree or disagree, I'm not saying that's the right move or not, because you can make the argument that he should try to position himself like a Lucid Motors is trying to do.
Yeah.
But because he's doing that, it's actually better for for Germany to get market share, because you're not trying to compete against BMW, Mercedes.
Right.
Volkswagen, yes, you will be competing against to a lesser extent. You will a little bit Mercedes and BMW, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.